minds, welcome to ProjexCellence ProDigy, your one-stop solution for all your project management needs. Today's episode is kind of extension of our last episode, which was on project scope management. The most important outcome of project scope management that is followed throughout the project life cycle is the scope baseline. It serves as a reference point and ensures the project delivers what was originally agreed upon. Let's explore it in detail. The scope baseline is the approved version of project scope statement, WBS, and its associated WBS dictionary, which can be changed only through formal change control procedures and is used as a basis for comparison. It is not a single document, but rather a collection of these three elements. If we talk about purpose of the scope baseline, it gives the reference for change control. Means any changes to the scope must go through formal change control and be compared against the baseline to determine their impact. It helps track and monitor project progress to ensure the project stays on track. It sets a clear expectation for what needs to be delivered. Components of scope baseline. As the definition says, scope baseline has three components: approved project scope statement, WBS, and its associated WBS dictionary. Project scope statement, it describes in detail the project's scope, deliverables, boundaries, assumptions, and constraints. It includes detailed descriptions of the project's objective and the work required to achieve them. It outlines what is included and what is excluded from the project. It serves as a formal agreement between the project stakeholders and the project team, ensuring that everyone has a clear understanding of what the project will achieve and the boundaries within which it will operate. Let's suppose we have one project, construction of new office building. So for this project, if we see the approved project scope statement, it would contain few key elements like project objectives. So what would be the project objective? Construct a new office building with a total floor area of 10,000 square feet. Complete the construction within 18 months. Ensure the building meets all local building codes and environmental regulations. So these are the project objectives. Project deliverables. A fully constructed office building with 5 floors. Interior spaces including offices, conference rooms, restrooms, and cafeteria. Exterior landscaping and parking facilities. Installation of electrical, plumbing, and HVAC systems. So these all will be the project deliverables. Project requirements. Use sustainable building materials and practices. Incorporate energy efficient systems and technologies. What would be the project boundaries? The project will include design, construction, and interior fit out of the building. And what it will exclude? The ongoing maintenance and operation of the building post-construction work. Acceptance criteria. So building must pass all inspections and obtain a certificate of occupancy. All deliverables must meet the quality standards specified in the project plan. Project must be completed within the approved budget and timeline. So these are the acceptance criteria for this project. Constraint. Budget is limited to $10 million. And construction must adhere to local noise ordinances and work hour restrictions. Assumptions. All necessary permits will be obtained without significant delays. So these are assumptions. It may be or may not be. Weather conditions will not cause major disruptions to the construction schedule. So these are the elements which will be in the project scope statement. Come to the work breakdown structure, WBS. The WBS is a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish the project objectives and create the required deliverables. Each descending level of the WBS represents an increasingly detailed definition of the project work. The WBS serves as the basis for planning, scheduling, cost estimating, and resource allocation. WBS Dictionary, a document that provides detailed information about each component in the WBS. It includes descriptions of work packages, deliverables, resources required, and other specific details. It defines the scope, schedule, and cost for each component of the WBS. If we see WBS and WBS dictionary, so WBS is kind of a blueprint, a high-level visual representation showing the major components and how the work is organized. If suppose you are building a house, the blueprint shows the structure such as rooms, walls, and floors, but not the details of materials or specific measurements. WBS dictionary is kind of an instruction manual, a detailed description of each component in the WBS, including tasks, resources, and requirements. This instruction manual will tell you exactly what materials to use for the walls, the number of bricks needed, and how long it will take to complete each section. Work breakdown structure. Let's understand WBS elements and its different levels in detail. The first level, level 1, is project title overall project. This is the highest level and represents the entire project. In our example, construction of a new office building will be in this level, project name. The second level is the control account. It is a management checkpoint within the work breakdown structure. It is a point where scope, budget, and schedule for the projects are integrated. The performance of the project is tracked and compared against the planned work, budget, and time. Control account typically consists of 2 or more work packages. Each work package is a specific task or deliverable within the project. Even though there may be multiple work packages, each work package is only associated with one control account. It's very important here to understand. Each work package is only associated with one control account. This means that a work package can only be measured and managed under a single control account for clarity and proper organization. Planning package, this layer. The planning package exists below the control account and above the work package. So this means it is an intermediate level in the WBS hierarchy where it is not as detailed as a work package but provides more information than the control account. Planning packages are used when we know what work needs to be done, but the detailed schedule, activities, tasks, or steps required to complete the work are not yet fully defined. So these planning packages, they serve as a placeholder for the future work that needs more definition and breakdown. Once more details are available for this layer, the planning package will be further broken down into the specific work package like this here. Work package. Work package is the smallest or lowest unit in the WBS hierarchy, meaning it cannot be broken down further. Each work package contains a specific piece of work to be completed. Each work package is assigned a unique identifier, this one, which helps to track and manage that specific work across the project. This identifier is usually a code or number that corresponds to its place in the WBS. Like here, you can see 1.1, then it will be 1.1.1. Here 1.1.2, then 1.1.2.1. So this shows that where it is getting placed in the WBS structure. So WBS helps in planning, scheduling, and monitoring the progress. We can do exact estimation of cost, duration, and resources required for completing the task. Here we can see a nice WBS illustration for the project construction of new office building. So the primary deliverable is construction of new office building. This is the level 1. At level 2, major key deliverables are mentioned as design phase, site preparation, foundation, building structure, electrical work, and commissioning. This level is called the control account, and this is the management control point. All the work packages related to the control accounts are integrated here for cost, scope, and schedule. And management would like to see the progress at this level. Control accounts are further broken down to work packages. These are the work packages. Work packages are the smallest unit of work, and they can be easily estimated for schedule, cost, and manage effectively. Like you see, the design phase control account is having 3 work packages: architectural design, structural design, electrical design. In a similar way, site preparation, it got 3 work packages: land clearing, grading, site surveying. Electrical work, there are 2 work packages: install wiring, fitment of wiring accessories. So let's assume for installation of wiring, suppose material cost is $5,000 and the labor cost is $3,000. So for this work package, total costing become $8,000. And the second work package under this same control account, fitment of wiring accessories, material cost is $4,000 and labor cost is $2,000. So it becomes $6,000. So if we calculate, the total cost for this control account become 8,000 plus 6,000, $14,000. So that's how we can estimate the costing for the control account. Similarly, for scheduling, let's suppose wiring installation will take 10 days. And this fitment of wiring accessories will take 5 days. So total 15 days needed to complete this control account, electrical work. In middle, we can see one more layer under the building structure, which is future exterior planning. This is planning package. This is the middle layer. We know there will be exterior work needs to be done, but at this moment, not sure about detailed activities, what that will be. It can be anything like installing of exterior windows and glass panels, exterior painting or waterproofing. It can be anything. Once the project will reach at that stage, this planning package can be broken down into the clear work packages here. So planning packages are the placeholders for the future work and help in making this WBS structure. Next topic is WBS dictionary. It is a document that provides detailed information about each element in the WBS. It supports the WBS by offering a clear and comprehensive description of the work, deliverables, activities, and milestones associated with each component. WBS dictionary ensures that each element of the WBS is accurately articulated and can be communicated to anyone referencing the WBS. If we talk about components of the WBS dictionary, so the very first one is code of account identifier. A unique identifier is assigned to each element in the WBS for tracking and referencing purpose. For example, in last slide, for the WBS illustration, the 1.1 code was given to architectural design, while 1.2 code was assigned to structural design. Description of work. Detailed description of the work to be performed for each WBS element will be mentioned in the dictionary. For instance, the foundation work might include tasks such as excavation, laying concrete, and installing the rebar. Assumptions and constraints. Any assumptions and constraints that apply to the work described in the WBS element. For example, an assumption might be that weather condition will be favorable for outdoor work, while a constraint could be the local building codes that must be adhered to. Responsible organization. The organization or team responsible for completing the work. For example, the foundation work might be assigned to a specific construction contractor specializing in concrete work. Schedule milestone. So key dates and milestones associated with the WBS element. For example, the milestone for completing the foundation might be set for October 15th, 2024. Associated schedule activities. Specific activities that need to be completed as part of the WBS element. For the foundation work, this could include activities like site preparation, pouring concrete, and the curing time. Resources required. The type and number of resources needed to complete the work. For example, the foundation work might require resources such as concrete mixtures, rebar, laborers, and engineers. Cost estimates. Estimated costs associated with the WBS element we discussed for the electrical work in last slide. Quality requirements. Quality standards and criteria that must be met for the work. For example, the concrete used in the foundation must meet specific strength requirements as per the project specifications. Acceptance criteria. Conditions that must be satisfied for the deliverables to be accepted. For the foundation work, acceptance criteria might include passing a structural integrity test and meeting all local building code requirements. Technical references. Any technical document or reference that are relevant to the work. For example, technical references for the foundation work might include engineering drawings, concrete mix design specifications, and soil test reports. Agreement information. Contract control information such as charge numbers or other similar data. For example, the foundation work might be associated with a specific contract number and budget code for financial tracking purposes. Sometimes the question arises whether scope baseline is applicable for agile projects. So the answer is no. The term scope baseline is traditionally associated with predictive project management methodologies. where it refers to the approved version of the project scope statement, WBS and WBS dictionary. These elements together define the fixed scope that guides the project, and any changes must go through a formal change control process. While in agile projects, the concept of a fixed scope baseline is not applicable because agile is built around the idea of flexibility and responding to change. Instead of setting fixed scope, agile allows for constant feedback and adaptation, adjusting to changes in customer needs or priorities throughout the project. In agile projects, scope management is handled differently. There is product backlog. Instead of project scope statement, there is a product backlog in agile project. The product backlog is an evolving list of everything that needs to be done to complete the product. The product owner is responsible for maintaining and prioritizing the product backlog. It is updated continuously based on feedback from stakeholders or changes in market demands. This is the primary source of scope in agile projects. Other elements, epics, features, and user stories. We can relate those with the WBS and WBS elements like control account, work packages, planning packages. So, the epics are the large high-level chunks of work that describe big functionalities or features. Features, smaller units of functionality, often parts of an epic. User stories, these are the smallest unit of work that focus on specific functionalities or user needs. It's similar to the work package. Each user story is written from the perspective of the user and typically follows the format as a I want so that. These are refined and prioritized over time, allowing teams to tackle the most important work first. Sprint backlog. For each sprint, normally it is a duration of 1 to 4 weeks, the team selects a subset of user stories from the product backlog to work on. This selection of work becomes the sprint backlog, and it is a fixed scope for that particular sprint, meaning no new tasks or user stories are added once the sprint starts. And the team commits to completing all the work in the sprint backlog by the end of the sprint. Acceptance criteria. Each user story includes acceptance criteria that specify the conditions under which the user story will be considered complete. Acceptance criteria ensure that both the development team and the stakeholders have a shared understanding of what done means for each user story. This helps maintain a focus on quality and ensures that only fully completed work is delivered. So that brings us the end of this episode. Before we go, I'd like to kindly ask for your support. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Your involvement truly makes a difference. Namaste, goodbye, Sampai Jumpa.